What up, it's Enigma Hood. So I was checking out AlphaOmegaSin's video about Microsoft's new console always being online. Now this is nothing new. We've known about this for several months. The rumors have been going around, and it unfortunately appears to be the case that this thing is going to have to always be online in order to use it, even if you're playing a single player game. And if you try to play it offline, it appears the system will not work, it will not function. Now, that already pissed me off, but after watching AlphaOmegaSin's video, he actually got some quotes from Microsoft creative director or developer Adam Orth, and he made some really stupid comments that really pissed me off.
Adam Orth went on to go and say on his Twitter, "Sorry, I don't get the drama around having an always-on console. Every device now is always on. That's the world we live in. Hashtag deal with it." But we have somebody from BioWare who's just oozing with common sense, and I'd love to high-five him. Buy a fucking beer for saying this, Mr. Man v. Hair. He went on to go and say, "Did you learn nothing from Diablo 3 or SimCity? You know, some people's internet goes out, right? Deal with it is a shit reason." But it couldn't just stop there. No. This fucking train of arrogance has to continue. See, Adam Orth had one more up his fucking sleeve, and that was, "Electricity goes out too," said Orth. Ha! Oh, that's so fucking funny. And then he had one more to just completely seal this casket shut. "The mobile reception in the area I live in is spotty and unreliable. I will not buy a mobile phone." And obviously that's supposed to be sarcasm.
That is a fallacy. That is a fallacy. It's an argument from analogy fallacy, actually. To compare two different things, which have only one thing in common, but you're ignoring all the other factors which they don't have in common. What don't these other things have in common with a single-player game? In order to use an electronic device, you have to have electricity. In order to use a cell phone, you have to have a cell network. They have to have it. There is no option. Okay, there's no room for flexibility or anything. You have to have electricity in order to use an electronic device, and a cell network in order to use a cell phone. You don't have to be online in order to play a single-player game. That is the fallacy. They are not analogous. Now, I can understand the argument for a multiplayer game. For a multiplayer-only game, at least. A massively multiplayer game? Sure, I understand. You have to be online in order to play it. If it's a streaming type of game, like OnLive, then I understand. Now, with the OnLive thing, there's some, controversy around that. Whatever the successor is to OnLive, it could work, especially if PSN incorporates something like just a flat monthly fee, and then they rotate the games every month, kind of like what they're doing right now with PlayStation Plus. And, if you stream it like that, then, yeah, that would work just fine. I don't mind that, and you have to be online in order to use it. That makes sense, too. They're just temporary, so you play them for however many months they have them on the service, you pay a flat monthly fee to have access to all these different games. I don't have a problem with that. It makes sense because you have to be online in order to use that kind of service. You don't have to be online in order to play a disc-based game or a game that you downloaded to your hard drive that you own. If you pay for a game, you own that game. And if it's not being offered to you at any time you want, even if you're online or offline, then they are basically ripping you off. Now, the technology isn't to the place where we need consoles to be online all the time. There really is no point to it at the moment. Maybe in the future there are rumors going around of consoles transitioning to a form where it's always streaming, where we don't actually own much physical hardware. All the physical hardware is located somewhere off-site, and it's streaming the game through high internet connections. Something like Google Fiber could work with that. Now, there's some controversy over that, whether we should implement that. Personally, I think it's perfectly fine as long as it's streaming an online game, because you have to be online in order to play that anyway. But single-player games, no. 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 And as far as I can tell, in the future, there is a market. There is a place for single-player games. Not everything has to be online. Sure, it makes sense for, I guess, like Diablo 3-like games that are like World of Warcraft, some kind of future successor to that, some kind of Matrix-like game that is always online and incorporates thousands of people at once in some gigantic mega city or some shit like that, you know, the successor to Watch Dogs and Grand Theft Auto 5, you know, something like that, I can understand. But I still do think that there's a market for single-player games, even in the deep future. But who knows? I mean, we're really speculating on stuff that deep into the future. But I want to know what you guys think. You know, like, even before I say that, I personally was interested in getting a new Microsoft console, the next generation. This generation, I had a PS3. I was hoping for the next generation to be backwards compatible with the previous Xbox and to offer the new Microsoft console content. And I could have a 2-for-1 thing. The rumors seem to suggest that not only is this thing going to be online all the time, but it's not even going to be backwards compatible with the 360, which kind of defeats the whole point. So I'm probably going to stick with the PS4 for the next generation, because it doesn't have to be online all the time. And it's probably going to be a better console anyway. But let me know what you guys think. This is Enigma Hood signing off.